Ah, here we go. It's working now. Sorry about that, guys. Couldn't get my headset. Give me any sound. All right, let's get going. Okay, U.S. markets obviously sold off quite reasonably last night's session. Finally, a little bit of volatility, a little bit of action. I think the big thing, without question, was obviously the civilian airliner that was shot down, Malaysian plane that was shot down over Ukraine by what looks to be Russian separatists. We've also had more Israeli military action in Gaza as well. On the back of that, definitely a little bit of risk off, a little bit of risk aversion. We had gold really rallying. We had crude oil also spiking up a bit. We had treasuries that really ran hard and yields plummeting. And then we had the VIX that really went nuts as well. So finally, the first time that we've seen any real worry kind of come into the market in what I would say is quite some time. We see we also had a lot of other things that kind of happened on the U.S. session last night. We had Microsoft that cut a lot of jobs. We had Google, which came out with earnings. IBM came out with earnings all after hours, which are better than expected. We had United Health Group as well, which had a nice earnings beat, but it kind of was all wiped out on the back of some real international political fears. So this morning kind of coming in with a little bit of uncertainty, and maybe it will extend our little price discovery phase at the beginning of the day's session for a little bit longer. Right. If we look at what happened in Asia, I mean, it was a very benign reaction. We had the Nikkei, which was down over 1%, but everything else was literally was mixed. I mean, we had Australia, which was up a touch, which was very surprising. We had oh man. Sorry, guys, just give me 1 second here. Just need to. Oh no. Okay. We had we had mixed action out of Asia. For some reason, some of the markets were able to shrug it off. Maybe it's because they had a little bit more information and that it wasn't done on purpose. Out of the the Russians didn't actually shoot it down on purpose. It wasn't on the back of any sanctions or anything like that. And so the markets kind of were able to calm themselves a little bit overnight in Asia. But we still see things under pressure as we come in here this morning. We also had out of China last night, we had Shanghai, which came out with their new home price numbers, which declined at the fastest pace in some time. I think 55 out of 70 home price regions actually declined on the day. On the month, and potentially adding some speculation that they may start to come in and loosen some of the property market curves, which is probably why we saw Shanghai up a little bit on the day. All right, like we said earlier, we had the VIX last night, which really just absolutely exploded. It says 23.01% right there. But that actually, if I'm not mistaken, was taken a little bit earlier in the session last night. We actually finished up on the VIX 32% last night to close at 1454. So, very impressive kind of move up on the VIX. At one point, I believe we were up as much as 37%. And that just shows you the sort of levels of complacency that we've been at for, almost a half a year to maybe even closer to a year. And we've just seen the VIX at incredibly low levels. And last night, even though last night maybe wasn't even the most horrific of events, it actually, you see a 30% plus move on the VIX. That it's been a little bit too complacent. All right, corporate action today in the States. We've got General Electric and Honeywell International. We've also got market data. We've got ECB current accounts, which is going to come out at 10. We've got University of Michigan confidence in the States and leading index numbers as well. So there's not a lot of market data or corporate action that's really going to lead us today. I think we're going to be kind of finding our way, feeling things out early after a lot of uncertainty last night. We'll be feeling things out this morning, trying to figure out where everything's going to settle after a lot of volatility and a lot of nervousness in the U.S. session. All right, let's get into the maps. Sorry guys for that little pause earlier. I was scrambling trying to get my ideas off of my laptop before my machine shut down, so I only kind of got a partial fill there. But you can see this is one of the things I wanted to look at this morning, and this is, I think, very key. And it kind of shows us, even though where we are in the economic landscape in the States right now, we've got 30-year Treasury yields which are actually punching to new lows over the past several years. So this is really, really important. I think the target here can take us significantly lower on the yield, and possibly into the two handle, which would be a quite incredible thing. Sorry, not quite to twos, but maybe to maybe 3.1 on the yields. And bottom line is, you can see it on the risk aversion that we saw last night. We saw major moves here. Probably going to expect some of this risk aversion to continue, or sorry, probably going to expect yields to continue to move a little bit lower, because it's not all on risk aversion. I mean, before yesterday, we had markets closing at all-time highs, but we had yields which are basically pushing almost all-time lows, which doesn't really seem to line up. So there's definitely a big disconnect right now between the bond market and the U.S. equity market at the moment. So I think we'll have to continue to keep track of this going forward, but definitely showing some real risk aversion as of last night. All right, one of the first ones I want to look at here is Kumba. Obviously, we've got futures opening down a few hundred points this morning. You can see we talked about this the other day. Kumba's definitely been in a flag pattern here below resistance. Definitely a very bearish setup here in my mind, and we're going to most likely open without a question probably below this 340 level and below on this flag pattern. And I think if we can just hold below 340 this morning and stay there for the beginning, at least the beginning part of the session. Obviously, we're going to need to close down there as well, but that'll probably give us some sort of confirmation that we can finally complete the target on the height of this channel on this breakdown from 400, that drop below 350, which gives us a target of 300. So a drop below 340 this morning could give us a start to that move to the target around 300 in Kumba. All right, we'll look at Impalas as well. Impala, you can see here making the second close down here at the 107 level. We've really this thing's been failing as the market's been rallying. It's just not looking great here. You can look at this in terms of some sort of lateral support that there was somewhere here around 110. I think where the real breakdown came was somewhere along here, breaking down out of this little narrowing wedge that we had. And we've got a big lower target on this. But bottom line is, this morning, looking at this test of 107, we're obviously going to expect most things to open lower this morning. This be one of them. If we can really trade a little bit lower this morning and get us a close below 107 today, I think this is going to set us up for that final put, or for that push that we've been expecting down to the 100 Rand level. All right, and then the last one that I was able to revive off of my machine here was Foschini. I actually want to go back and I want to look. Well, let's start here. You can see we really failed at 117 2 sessions ago. 117 being the highs of the last year. If we back it out to a 2-year chart, you can really see it kind of looks like we're really double topping over the last little year. But I think what's really important here is that not only did we fail there, but we reversed incredibly hard to below trend support. And as you can see there, we dropped all of that after making basically new highs, for the past 7 or 8 months. I mean, it's a monster reversal. You can't call it a key reversal because yesterday it didn't actually touch a new high as part of this recent trend. The day before it actually traded up a touch higher, but this is a major reversal back below support. I think that this could be signaling some of the potential correction to come, especially out of some of the stocks in this space. The last one I'll show here is actually Mr. Price. Mr. Price, I think, has actually reached its target. If I'm not mistaken, the target we'd set here was about 199. And you can see here, we're going to look here is for the height of this channel, this dip. as a breakout here, and this level down here is about 133. You can see there. Here we're looking at 166, so we're looking for 33 rand upside from 166, which takes us to 199. We closed yesterday 198.61. We traded at 191. So I think Mr. Price has actually hit its target up here at 199, and I think if we see a reversal here, as it basically tested 200 and potentially would be failing, obviously, if it makes a reversal, then I think we'll see it start to come down at least toward maybe where support is near around 180. And that's it for today, guys. Good luck out there. Be careful. It could be a really volatile day today.